All right, for today's try it at home, you'll need a jar, a bag without any holes in it, and a rubber band or some string, but we found out that it was kind of tricky with string. So what you need to do is put the bag into the jar and squeeze as much of the air out from the outside of the bag that's in between the glass and the bag as you can from the jar. And then fold the bag over the top and seal it tightly to the jar. That's why the rubber band was better than the string. Next, you'll need a volunteer. I'd like you to reach into the jar and try to pull the bag out of the jar from the bottom. Oh, come on, pull the bag out.
I'm trying.
It should be impossible to pull the bag out. For the second part of this try at home, you'll need a jar. Here I have some water that I'll pour into the other jar, and a piece of sturdy paper. You actually want the water to bubble over the top a little bit, and then you put your card or paper over the top of that. You're gonna hold it in place while you turn it over, and then wow! This jar really is full of water. I have a witness.
Yeah.
And you'll notice it's not coming out. Both of these activities are related to pressure, and this one shows that pressure doesn't just act in a downward motion, it acts all around the jar. And pressure is holding this card in place to prevent the water from coming out. If I take that off, you can see there is definitely water in the jar.
Properties of gases are responsible for both demonstrations. When gas particles strike a surface, they create a force called pressure. For the demonstration of the bag and the jar, the gases between the bag and the glass were removed, creating a vacuum. Air pressure pushed down on the bag and held it in place. Air pressure was also acting on the outside of the glass, but not on the bottom because it was sitting on a table. Other forces were holding the jar in place. To pull the bag out of the jar, more force must be applied than the pressure from the air that holds the bag in place. The only reason the bag could be removed was because the vacuum was broken and air rushed in to help apply pressure between the bag and the glass. In the second demonstration, water was poured into a jar that was then turned upside down without the water coming out of the jar. Again, a vacuum was created, this time between the card and the surface of the water. The force of air pushing on the card was greater than the force of gravity on the mass of the water, so the card stays in place and the water cannot come out of the jar.